Hi friends! This is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Fatal 12! This is part 23 in the series, Poketotoro for the rest of them. Also, if you haven't noticed, because things happen non-sequentially, I have done a lot of pre-recording on these, so apologies on that. If you want to see the cool haircut I got, if I like it, I don't know, I haven't had it yet. Check out the Life is Strange season that I'm playing right now. We're playing Life is Strange Before the Storm all the way on Saturdays up until the new Life is Strange True Colors comes out. So, subscribe, come back, do the things, stuff, all that. Yeah, check it out. Hopefully I like it. I'm going and it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Anyways, so back to Fatal 12. Obviously things happened last time. And also, obviously the background's changed. We're in the Dainty Wife office. If you haven't seen First Snow, also Poketotoro for that. That's really cool. It's really adorable. But the Dainty Wife's office is a lot cooler than my normal recording studio area because of the fact that it's been a heat wave. So, down here right now, deal with the random background. Appreciate it. So last time we had quite the showdown. Oh my goodness. You demolished. He was like, nah, I got this. And then just like, took it and go, you know? Right? It's kind of how he was. Sorry about that flash. So, now we're going to basically see whether or not he tries to blow up somewhere else. That's what I'm assuming. So we're back to, the unlikely trio on this one. Let's load and continue. Yeah, these guys. Moment's respite. We take some time to rest up after we finish eating. Unfortunately, I can't go home now that we know Yu's plans on making his move tomorrow. And also, very lucky for you that you don't have anything else going on right now. Like, school's canceled, your grandma's out of the country, there's no one giving any sort of, like, police message of missing persons on you. Well, I'm probably best off not thinking back anyway. Odette took care of Tokyo Tower's security cameras, but the police may come to question me on the off chance there's footage of me. I've still got a gun on me, so they probably arrest me on the spot. Today was a whole new experience for me. Yeah, you think? For the person who is very sheltered in the, like, I really my biggest regret is not living a life. It's left me absolutely exhausted. Thinking back, it's a miracle that I came out of it unscathed. Yeah! Like, you said you scraped up your face when you kinda slid across the floor with a bomb. Also, do not follow any of the instructions on any of the weapons in this entire video. Please, thank you, okay. That's how crazy it was. There's a public bathhouse about 20 minutes away on foot, so the three of us make the trek to get washed up. Sure, I build up a bit of sweat on the way back, but considering the state I was in before the bath, it's worth it. And did you change of clothes? Once we return, we go straight to sleep. We're going to be getting up just as early as we did today. What's more, tomorrow's likely to be even more of a toll on us, considering we don't know what Yu's planning. In fact, Alan got shot yesterday. Odette falls asleep first. This time, probably because she was drinking. Drinking what? What did she bring? But knowing her, she'd probably spring right up if you even thought about approaching her. I wouldn't be surprised, not after witnessing her fight with you this afternoon. Alan! Are you still awake? Yeah. You should get as much sleep as you can. That's all he says before he covers his face again. I want to thank him for accepting the role he took on today, but I hold my tongue. We're just using one another for our own benefit. He didn't do it for my sake. This is the same guy who took babies as hostages. I can't forget that. Just as I try to fall asleep, he poses a question to me in a hushed tone. Do you think it's a sin to kill others? A question that doesn't even need an answer at that. Even so, I reply with a nod. Then do you think it's a sin to eliminate others in divine selection? Words, divine selection. I'd say that, yeah, it is. But Naomi and myself treated it that way whenever we talked about divine selection. It was basically like wiping someone out of existence, and that's true. But now, Naomi's gone. I don't have any choice but to commit that sin if I want to get her back. I don't see it that way. Eliminating someone the way we do simply puts them back on their original path. Surviving this through to the end and stepping off the path may, in fact, be the one true sin. Although, I suppose that would make the act of eliminating others a sin, in retrospect. His own statements are contradictory. Yeah, they're very, laced with, I am feeling very uncomfortable with all of this, including the idea of maybe eliminating you. Because I am fond of you for some reason. What are you trying to say? I found myself thinking about it lately, is all. His response didn't even come close to answering my question. He doesn't say another word, though. I realized something important, just as I'm about to fall asleep, though. That Alan I've come to know isn't the type of person to say a thing like that. In that case, why would he let me see this other side of him? I just can't figure it out. Because he's fond of you, I think. Seems like it. Tokyo Tower. Welcome back! We go back to Tokyo Tower the next morning. Unsurprisingly, the observatory is closed off, you'd think. Only the aquarium and a small number of shops are still open. Hard to blame them, considering what happened. They might have failed, but anything involving hostages, gunshots, and a hostage who goes missing is a big deal. I say that someone who actually knows what went down, too. But really, the biggest surprise to me is that they didn't shut the entire place down. I guess it might be their way of saying they won't give in to terrorism. I mean, yeah, when the bombs went off in London's queer sector, literally the next day, people and patrons came back to pay their tabs, which is really amazing. There's a lot to saying we won't stand up to the hatred that you've put us through. He ain't gonna get much out of whatever he tries to pull in this state. It won't stop him, though. He wouldn't mention settling things with fate if he didn't have something else planned. Try and think. Is there anywhere else he's likely to turn up? He poses his question in a composed manner. There is a certain strength behind it, too. Nothing like the weak side he let slip yesterday. I honestly don't know, though. Times like this demand that I think things through from the beginning. Starting with the connection between me and you. Me and you. Naomi was at the core. He took her life out of Mitra. All for the sake of making me eliminate him. I'm still not sure why he wants me to do it. However, I'm sure he left me a hint within the speech of his yesterday. Become a hero through death. Giving one's life to accomplish something earns the title of hero. That's what he was saying. Why am I the one he's so focused on then? There are others who would eliminate him, so... Spark of fire lights up my mind all of a sudden. Fire like the one that engulfed us back then. The fate exchange. that it overheard us have. You won't become a hero. You're not even human. You're just a puppet. I was the one bold enough to proclaim that to him with my dying breath. Don't tell me. That's lead me to the most logical conclusion. One that proves to be the closest to finding the answer I've been looking for. I turned to face Odette and Alan. Let me handle this alone. What? I gotta settle things with fate myself. Did something come to mind? To look Alan in the eyes and nod firmly. It's obvious. They'll say no to me. I can't explain my reasoning, though. They'd get a hold of too much of my information if I do. Actually, they'll probably come along even if I give them a vague explanation. There's no guarantee I'm right, but it's not like they have any other leads. They don't have much of a choice. I can't let them come, though. I won't be able to reach the answer I'm looking for if I don't do this on my own. Whatever, go for it. That ain't the face of someone who's gonna bail. Agreed. He peers deep into my eyes before offering his consent. A brief pause follows before he closes his own eyes and continues. We'll do our own digging. As of now, our alliance has ended. Heh, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a kick out working with you two. Huh? Are you sure? Let's assume you plan to flee. Do you think you would be able to escape us? Good. That's the attitude I expect from you. You sure have gotten snide, haven't you? Says the person responsible for it. When next we meet, we shall be enemies. We never weren't enemies, bud. We just held hands for a bit. Yay. I can feel my heart racing. Working together with these two was strangely exhilarating. Following that, the three of us all go our separate ways. Being able to work together with those two as equals has given me strength. I always thought we belonged in different worlds, but that's not the case. They may outclass me when it comes to physical prowess and combat ability, but I proved that we can stand toe-to-toe when it comes to our determination. Let's do this. Those words represent my determination. Okay, we got this. Woo! There are a number of terms used to describe the sequence of events that led to a specific outcome. Some call it life, others call it a story. One is responsible for much during the sequence, such as choices picked, relationships built, and mistakes made. Thank you, visual novel, for explaining visual novels to me. All for the sake of proceeding along a predetermined path. That's the natural order of the world ruled by the concept of fate. Fate never strays from its course, regardless of how cruel it may be. There was a time when I truly believed all that. But now I know. You don't just let fate run its course, you shoulder it yourself. That's why I'm going to settle the score. I'll change fate itself. Yeah! I'll make my way to the station closest to Tokyo Tower, and then take the train to Shinjuku. Once there, I rushed to where this all began. The place that led to me losing my life. I've been here a number of times since Divine Selection began. This is the time that truly matters, though. There he is. The train is already sitting at the platform. Signal for the imminent departure rings just as I spot him. He's in disguise today as well, from what I can tell. He can barely make out his outline from here, but I know it's him. The hair, those rabbit eyes, and the keychain on his bag. Those all stood out. He seems to have noticed me. His cold gaze sends a shiver down my spine. It's possible he's been waiting here for my arrival. In fact, that's definitely the case. He turns and boards the train. I jump into the car closest to me, so I don't miss it. Although the train isn't packed due to it being a Sunday, there's still a decent number of passengers. Enough for all the seats to be taken and leave a good amount of people standing. Need to hurry. Things kicked off not long after leaving Shinjuku on that fateful day. That's why I run toward the car that you boarded, paying no mind to the people I bump into along the way. I'm moving toward the front cars, the same direction that the train is moving in. The situation has already escalated by the time I reach my destination, however. Yu opens his bag the exact moment I arrive. Run! I scream at all of the other passengers on instinct. I can't say for sure how many hear me. The lack of any significant reaction tells me it has to have been very few. That's not my problem, though. The only one thing for me to do here. You took your time. He was tossed his disguise and bag. His face is recognizable by the entire country after yesterday's stream. Those who see him immediately understand their situation. In that case, his presence alone proves to be far more effective than my warning. What are you planning? I told you, I'm settling the score with fate. You won't be able to kill anyone now, even if you let that bomb go off. I'm lucky that he didn't opt to do anything wild right away. Nothing was stopping him from letting the bomb go off right then and there. That's true. All that matters is that you're here now. I'm aware of what you want. I stand tall as I confront him. The passengers in our car gradually make their way to another one. Someone tries to grab my arm to help me escape as well, but I brush them off. You might detonate the bomb if he thinks I'm trying to escape. I have no intention of doing so. If he wants to settle the score, then I'm all for it. You want to become a hero, not as a puppet, but as your own person. So I wasn't hearing things after all. We didn't even have our card books back then, and yet we understood each other. Odd, considering I could barely comprehend Japanese back then. It doesn't matter. Surely you're not satisfied with just being here. It's not your fault everything ended like this. You should have killed me before. Yeah, you kinda should have, yeah. That's why I'm here now. You're not the only one trying to settle things. My memories were gradually coming back to me as I spent time with Shigetsugu. With the old man! Slowly came to remember everything about myself, my past, my desperation, and most importantly, my true nature. That's why I begged you to eliminate me. I don't have a normal life to go back to after this. I'm not like you. You have a normal life. You had a normal life with Shigetsugu. You had a normal life with the old man, though. You two were a family. Old man and weird person. And I've ended up worse off for it. If I had to lose everything, it should have been my conscience. I wouldn't have had to worry about anything then. I would have been nothing more than a mindless machine built to kill. Having my eyes open to what a normal life looks like made revisiting my past that much more painful. I don't want that feeling. All you had to do was find your own way to live. I can't. The old man never taught me how. He never felt the need to. He honestly believed that you could manage. He wanted you to decide how you would lead your life on your own. That's what the money he left behind was for, not bombs. He's asking too much of me. No, he's not. It was your choice to become a puppet in the first place, wasn't it? I'm not a puppet. Then prove it. That's why I'm doing this. I'm becoming a hero after you kill me. Tell me, what is a hero to you? To me, it sounds like nothing more than some tall tale of your own design. A hero is someone who gives their life to accomplish something. Someone who, in death, becomes timeless. Everything I've done after the old man was eliminated was by my own will. Going back to my own work. Making a stand against the world. Taking what's important to you was all part of it. I want you to kill me, so you killed someone close to you first. I did this of my own volition. I've proven that I'm not just some puppet. I feel myself about to scream when he brings up Naomi. Can't let it out though. I must hold it in. Breathe. Breathe out. There is nothing logical about anything that we're saying right now. It's so tense. So tense. I'm pretty sure he means everything he said. That's why all I feel for him now is pity. I know that I shouldn't. I mean, it makes no sense to feel sorry for a person who killed Naomi. I convinced myself that the story he told at Tokyo Tower meant nothing to me. But still, who is a great hero to you then? I have to ask him. A great hero? To me? Mama, of course. Who else could it be? What was it she provided for you then? I'm sure it was the same thing as Shigasugu. Huh? What did Mama give me? The old man wanted you to become a person who could provide something for another. A desire she likely shared. And that something wasn't fear or desperation, much less anger or sadness. No one would wish for that. You understand that, don't you? You knew the old man considered you both kind and brave. That's why you accepted the name he gave you. You wanted to become the person he saw. That's why you're still using that name now. Only your name card didn't disappear. That's more than enough proof of that. Deep down, you don't want to become this kind of hero. Quit running and face yourself already. Shut up. Just shut up. He gets me off with a rabbit scream. There is more to it than just his words, though. His animosity towards me is palpable. He's become nothing more than a desperate child. Ah! He rips his bag open while screaming. Inside is the exact same bomb he used the day we died. Ooh! Don't do it! He's not doing this to kill others. He's trying to hurt himself. This is his solution to escape the contradiction within himself. I dash toward him in response. I do it instinctively. My reasoning behind my action doesn't matter right now. Don't be so rash. I can make it before he triggers the bomb. I can. Just as I think that, the train lurches violently. The speakers announce that they have engaged the emergency brake. Someone must have pressed the emergency stop button after fleeing the train car. As a result, I throw my weight back in order to keep myself from face planting as I run at you. The recoil on top of this shift throws me back against the door, connecting this car and the next. Turn my gaze back to you after making sense of what just happened, only to find that I am too late. A thunderous roar resounds, accompanied by a blinding light. This is a scene embedded deep within my psyche. Ugh. Close my eyes as the explosion goes off. Fortunately, I get away with just a cut on my leg due to both the distance and the fact that Yu was smothering the bomb when he set it off. Then again, it might be due to divine selection working to protect me as a participant. The flames from the explosion envelop the car, just like they did before. The heat wave causes my vision to blur. I can feel this discomfort on my skin from the intense heat too. It's the same scene I witnessed before, seen undone by divine selection. What happened to you? Whoa! I knew it. I can't die. I turn my eyes from you the moment he enters my line of sight. The explosion has roasted him alive. Fragments of the bomb are lodged in his body, exposing raw muscle. He is bleeding profusely. I only look upon him for a second, but I will never forget that sight. The smell of burnt flesh wafts through the car with the smoke. I look back toward him slowly. Come here, you. I can help you before it's too late. What do you have to gain by helping me? The heat I feel is nothing compared to what it must be like around you, who is at the focus. Locus? At the focus of the explosion. Try to make my way over to him, but my body refuses to move. Use card book, which remains completely unscathed, lays at his feet. I would have expected it to catch fire, but there it is, perfectly fine. The tattered and scorched remnants of used bag lay inside it. Keychain has been damaged a bit, but it's more or less survived the blast. He picks it up ever so slowly. I brought the bag along with this keychain the very first day I got to Japan. I didn't think much of it at the time. But when you took it from me at Tokyo Tower, I felt I had to get it back. It had become important to me at some point. During the time I spent with Shigasuku. Tell me later. Just get over here now. You're not gonna die. Walk out the flames. I don't know why I'm worried about him. All I need to do is learn his regret. But I can't settle down seeing him like that. Shigasuku never locked the door when someone was home. But he would whenever we were out. You lock the door when you leave and unlock it when you come home. That's common sense to you. I wanted that to be the case for me as well. I only realized it was once Shigasuku was gone, though. Once that desire of mine became unattainable. If possible, I wanted to live a normal life, like all of you. My card book begins to shine. Not that I'm in any position to check it right now. Drag myself as close to him as I can before extending my hand. An unseen wall of heat around him pushes against me. Sweat built up on my arm evaporates before it has a chance to drip off me. That doesn't matter right now. Now you can finally kill me. You! Guess smoke surrounds him all of a sudden. Probably because the swell of air just got sucked into the car when a window broke. Flames grow more intense. I can't even keep my eyes open. The amount of smoke causes me to crouch without thinking. I must be trying to keep myself from breathing it in. My right hand remains extended toward you, though. It's the one part of my body I can still control willingly. I feel something solid touch it. Thank you, Rinka. Not sure if he speaks after touching my hand, or if I imagine it. Regardless, I feel my consciousness fade from the suffocating heat. I give in to it and pass out. It's kind of a bad thing. What's a... Good evening, my lovely little slaves to fate. Next thing I hear when I regain consciousness is the ever haughty voice. Goodness me, you certainly look subpar. Look, I lost consciousness in the train due to the heat and smoke. The fact that I'm in the court of fate means that this week's election has started. I got on the train before noon, so that means I must have been out cold for 12 hours. What happened to my physical body? Is it in a hospital somewhere? Ha! Ellen and Odette look unfazed, as always. Odette even has a luxury of yawning. Odd, considering you can't actually be tired in the dream world. Meanwhile, Scale lets out a dramatic sigh. I'm not really sure what he's thinking based on his ambiguous expression. As for Federico, he seems awfully restless. He's tapping his finger and tutting. I don't know how things stand between them, so all I can do is guess based on what I see. At the very least, Odette's probably still working on her own. And Miharu. Miharu seems somewhat relieved after giving me a quick once-over. Maybe she learned that I collapsed in the train somehow. Her not saying anything probably means she's still cooperating with the others under the pretense that we're no longer friends. So, you... Turn my attention to number 4. Then you stands unscathed. Based off this and Federico's case, I have to assume that our state in the real world truly is not reflected in the dream world. An odd sense of relief washes over me when I see him like this. I'm not sure why, considering I'm about to elect him. I open up my card book. All the cards in my possession fly out upon doing so, including the most recent one I gained. Number 4, regret. Let's use regret card. Things seem to have grown a touch gloomy around here now. I do hope there's something I can do to cheer you up. Oh good. How about our lovely goddess sings us a little ditty? Don't waste our time. Yeah, let's not get started already. Let's just get started already. Not like I'm gonna elect anyone tonight, right? Shut it. Same goes for you, doesn't it? I wonder. Federico frowns in response to Odette's hearty grin. You'd have a hard time not being gloomy if you were counted among us as a participant too. Can't deny that I'd like to hear our little goddess sing for us, though. Haha. Just get started already. Alan, I have no time for any of your shits. Alan directs his comment to Parsa, making his discontent obvious. There's an oddly functional flow to our conversations now that most of us know each other. It's different from when divine selection first began. That fact scares me. Oh, what a shame. My efforts to learn the songs you people know, all for naught. How do you know about learning them? Are you so curious? Yeah, I most certainly am. Odette isn't joking. I can tell she's serious based on the tone of her voice. I've spoken to her in person, so I know. It may have sounded inconsequential, but she is looking to get something out of Parsa. I'm afraid that I'll have to keep you in the dark. A lady is only as charming as the number of secrets she holds. No. Her choice of words makes her sound mischievous. Almost like a regular child, even. Can we get on with this? Yu's tone is as sharp as it is cold. It's obvious how little he cares for Parsa. Now. No need to be so hasty, though I admit perhaps I spoke a bit too much tonight. Allow me to begin tonight's election. Revolve, O clock of fate. Her stock phrase signals the beginning of tonight's election. The clock hand at the center of Court of Fate begins to revolve. Nothing she does is any different from normal, but tonight sounds completely different to me. The reason why is simple. Tonight will be the first night I elect someone. But I'm conflicted over what to do even now. Electing someone is the same as stripping away their right to live. It's no different from killing them. Yu's pained voice comes to mind. His heartfelt cry to the world. His battle with the contradiction born within him. Cast a glance over at him once again. He just looks like an average boy right now, hardly someone capable of terrorism. The wild look he showed before is gone now. In fact, he seems to be at peace. Is he ready to be elected? Does he feel relieved that he'll finally be freed from his suffering? I can't tell from where I stand. He doesn't bother to say anything to me. Well, numeral 1. She cries as if she knows exactly what is going through my mind. As if she knows I'm about to elect you. It makes sense if she's observing the events that happen in the real world. How she does that, I'm not sure. Not that it matters right now. Can't finish my sentence. Thought I was ready to accept the responsibility of throwing another person's life away for my own. I just can't say it. Are you ready? It's a simple question, my dear. Will you elect someone or not? Why did I go through everything to obtain Yu's regret card? To save Naomi and also yourself, because you really probably got very burned on that. And Miharu's probably sitting there like, come on! I feel like I'll forget at this rate. But even so, shall I presume that your answer is no? Wait! Naomi's face comes to mind. Yu's actions will be undone with his election. That means what happened at Nietzsche will also be undone. If that can happen, then Naomi will... Pull yourself together, Rinka. I mutter my own name under my breath. That's not a good reason. We can't shoulder anything together if I let such things spur my actions. I'd just be using her as an excuse for my own weakness. I remind myself to make my decision based solely on my own judgment. If I'm going to eliminate him, it's because I chose to. Now regret comes to mind. Swore that I would live my life out. I'm going to elect someone. Huh. Well then. Straighten my back and regain my posture. My eyes fall directly on you following that. He still has the same gentle expression from before. It's the same expression from back when he first ate the dinner I made for him. Even so, I elect numeral 4. I have to utter those words no matter what. Very well. Parser proceeds to question the other participants. I also break out in a sweat when Odette's turn comes and goes without incident. That would have been the moment I got elected if I had given in to her demands on Friday. Ugh, that's a good point. Totally forgot about that. Glad that didn't happen. In the end, the clock doesn't stop at anyone else. I'm the only one electing someone tonight. With that decided, numeral 1 and numeral 4 allow me to begin the election procedure. The platform begins to move in tandem with her statement. Yu's platform does the same. Both of us ascend to the upper stratum of the Court of Fate. It's an odd sensation, to say the least. The way my platform ascends almost feels like I'm on an elevator. There aren't any walls around to support it, but it somehow feels like I can't actually fall off it. That's how smooth and steady the ascent feels. I'm surrounded by unfamiliar scenery once the platform stops, almost like I'm perched high above the clouds. There's nothing but darkness now. I can't see Miharu or any other participants from here. You, on the other hand, stands directly across from me. You finally decided to kill me. Yeah. You finally gonna set me free from my pain? Not quite. Only you can save yourself. Apologies for the wait. Let us commence the election process, shall we? Wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean, Rinka? I thought you were going to kill me. To help me. Parsa urges us on, so I open my card book. All my cards fly out the moment I do. It seems I need to pick the relevant ones in order. Oh. Your name is Yu, a name given to you by Shigasugu. So I'm aware of how important it is to you. It's a lovely name. Fire was the cause of your death. A cause oddly intertwined with my own, if I'm being honest. Hated you for it before, but now I can feel sad about it. I pick his name and cause death in succession. How about you forgive yourself already? Huh? I can't forgive you after you took Naomi's life. That being said, neither will anyone else if you keep denying yourself. You're no puppet, much less a hero. What you are is a human as they come. That's the best I could do for him. When it all began, the words I left him with before dying stuck with him this whole time. As such, he had no choice but to deny himself, both himself and his past. I lost my parents not but long after I was born. So, one can argue that I should have tried harder to understand you and your position. But the lives we led were far too different. I grew up providing for those around me, whereas you grew up taking from those around you. And after all that, you met Shikasugu, who you learned the joy of providing for another and the possibilities it could open up for you. Possibility of leading a normal life, not by your standards, but by those of people like Shikasugu and myself. That's what became my regret. I take all three of his cards in hand. That's why it was so hard for you, wasn't it? You weren't simply handed the new life, so you never knew how to obtain it as your own. That led to you denying the very concept of it. I won't forget you. Finally, I understand why we'll never understand one another. It's because we both started out the same. It's almost too cruel how things turned out. I'll be able to die a human at least. That's normal, isn't it? Yeah. Oh! All three of my cards begin to move on their own. Once they reach the middle of the Court of Fate, they come together and form a triangle shape. What follows is a sudden burst of light that swallows my surroundings. I'm glad I settled on you as the person to kill me. Oddly enough, our regrets are the same, to an extent. Both involve the concept of living regular lives. The values we hold surrounding them are completely different, though. For me, it's all about what I already knew. For him, it was what he had come to know. I can resent you all I want. In death. You and me both. Bye. The light from my cards envelops us. It's brightly enough that I involuntarily squeeze my eyes shut, only to notice my consciousness leaving my body. I wanna die! Hear a voice during this. I don't wanna die, I don't wanna! I could have lived a normal life. I don't wanna die. No, please no. Rinka, Shikasugu, Mama. I don't wanna die. I still had so much of my life left. Ah! His voice becomes more and more distant. All I can do is listen. I listen to him reveal his true feelings then and there during his final moments. Flames envelop me. This is the sight I recognize. It's almost the same exact scenery I witnessed when I died, after all. My line of sight is much lower than usual. That's when I realized that this was from Yu's perspective. He was sitting down after having crushed my throat. I'm human. I am. His lungs had lost their function. His skin was charred. His very cells had been obliterated. And now, I'm a hero. His words fell on deaf ears. This is how it should be. As soon as he tried to breathe, his blood refused to carry the oxygen. Not like the air could have reached his lungs at this point. Right, Mama? It was doubtful that he could even speak properly at this point. That wasn't a concern of his, though. He just did everything he could to speak his last words. He did it to convince himself. To reassert himself. It's not... But that effect didn't last long. I don't want to die. His lungs were shot. He couldn't speak anymore. Don't want to die. Help. Help. That's why those end up being his last words. He unleashed one final scream, marred with regret and repentance. His vision was dyed red. Following that, the flames charred away the contradiction and sins he bore. That was a lot. Those were Yu's final moments, weren't they? Yu has already disappeared by this point. His final words to me were full of resentment. It's fine by me, though. I had everything he lacked, everything he wanted. And yet, I still find myself clutching my fists. If an afterlife really does exist, then at the very least, I can pray that's a place where our growths become divine selection. Where our growths during divine selection aren't forgotten. That might be more painful for him. Knowing what we consider to be a regular life might cause him to panic and question himself. So long as he has the freedom to figure things out, he should be fine. Funny that I think of such things when I don't believe in God or heaven. Oh, how impressive of you for you to say that in the presence of Goddess. Shut up. Oh my, how scary. Allow me to show you the cards of numeral 4 of succession. Please consider what you'd like to obtain as you descend. And the platform begins to move, not even giving me enough time to get sentimental or reuse elimination. I can bring Naomi back now. Not even that thought prevents me from feeling miserable. I have all of these already. Person told me to choose whichever card I wanted, but you didn't have any I can take. Just those I already have, or ones that belong to those who have already been eliminated. The ones I already have are numeral 2 and numeral 9's names. Miharu's and Scales cards. That makes it obvious how little interest you had in divine selection. Thus, my very first election comes to an end. It doesn't feel very special. If anything, it only served to put a greater burden on my shoulders. Ugh. Tonight's session resulted in 1 elimination. I bid you all farewell. For now, look over to the empty platform on which you once stood. I don't look at just this platform though. Numero 5, Shikasuku's platform. Numero 8, Kikyo's platform. Number 10, Sanya's platform. Even the platform for numerals 6 and 7, which belong to people I never got to know. I find myself brooding over each and every one of them. Whoa. So that was a lot. Also, we're waking up in bed. Yep. So we're gonna figure out what all restored from that. And I hope that you have a great time with all of this and you're enjoying it just as much as I am. It's very intense. Again, if you ever need help, I always put a link to the Trevor Project in the description below in case there's any sort of needs you have, be it problems with everything that we're showing as well as just everyday needs. But besides that, I love you all. Heart, be safe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!